So there are multiple theories, and that's what we're gonna dive into right now. I have my little book with my questions. Okay, so for the real ending, I wrote, we discover that Mono becomes the Thin Man after Six drops him off the ledge. So I'm not gonna read the alternate ending to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna. But on the other hand, it's kind of interesting because many of my.
Yeah, I don't really care actually.
Okay, the alternate ending, you see Six come out of the TV. After she betrays Mono, or so is, what everyone else thinks. And there's her glitch version in front of her. And you see her glitch version turn around, pointing out to a brochure of the mall.
Oh.
So that's why you'll also see in the questions that I wrote, is Little Nightmares 2 a prequel or a sequel? Because Tarsus Studios kind of pointed out that it was a sequel, but they said that everything will be answered about the timeline in the second game.
Yeah.
And many things throughout the game points out that it's a prequel.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about that. So you see Six come out, and also a very important detail, once she comes out, her tummy is rumbling.
Oh.
And you don't have that throughout the whole game at all.
Yeah.
You never hear her have that, only in the first game. So some people ask, is it something that happened while she was in the TV, while she was captured by the Thin Man, or is it just something that happens, or did she always have that from the first game, but she kind of put it aside, or we didn't hear it, Okay, so first my question, and I think that you saw that on YouTube as well. In a way, you read only the title,
like the title said,
and that's what got me as well. The question: why did Six betray Mono? So we could see it as a betrayal, but we also see it as maybe she tried to save him. So what I wrote is
because that's what I'm thinking.
My first theory is that Six betrayed him because she saw a connection between him and the Thin Man.
Yeah.
She probably saw the face was similar, or she knew. So in order to save him or prevent him from becoming the Thin Man, she dropped him. Yeah. Not knowing that it's because of her that he became like that. So that's why when you said, oh, that's a loop, I was like, it's a time loop in a way, because she wants to prevent it, but she's the one creating that.
Yeah.
But you will never know. Is it her who started the loop because she dropped him, or him who started it because maybe he picked her up, during the game, or because we broke her music box. Yeah. So maybe she saw that as a betrayal as well.
Like the thing I told you, like I think we will see more. If there is DLC, it's where we're gonna see something, because that's in the first game as well, where we saw like the gnomes and stuff. Like I think that was a big part of the game.
Yeah, it was really important.
They showed us in the DLC, so maybe they'll do the same for this.
Yeah, they could also show either how she went from the forest or the signal tower to the mall, or the opposite, from the mall to the forest where we found her. So I don't know. The second theory is that she betrayed Mono because of her hunger, because it's Stride, and she decided to let him go instead of having to eat him, because we know from the first game that she ate the gnome, which turned out to be a kid, and the lady at the end as well. So maybe to save her friend, she knew that she would either eat him or let him die. So maybe she didn't want to have to live with the fact that she ate her friend. But I don't really believe in this theory.
No, because that would be weird as well.
But then why would they suddenly put her hunger thing, like that detail in the alternate ending, to say, so she was hungry. Is that the reason why she dropped him?
But in the alternate ending, she also turns into that weird figure.
Yeah. No, in the alternate ending, she's herself. She just comes out of the TV as Six, the normal Six.
But how she doesn't turn into like that big figure then?
No, but we don't know how she turned into that, because when we arrived in the signal tower just earlier, she was already transformed like that. So we don't know what happened to her.
No, but I mean in the alternate ending, when you go there, there's that whole sequence with Six isn't there.
No, it's only so the real ending is once we are in that weird, gross area, and Mono goes on the chair, and the alternate is just her going out of the TV with her glitched version in front, pointing towards the brochure. Another theory is that she betrayed him because she never needed him.
But only last thing, wouldn't the glitch be kind of her mind then? Because if the glitch would be pointing out and telling her you should go there, maybe that's still like an evil version of her.
Yeah, so many people also wonder, what is this glitch thing? That's another question that I have. Many people think that it's the real 6 that wasn't changed. Like the 6 that comes out of the TV is the changed version of 6.
Yeah.
What she became in the TV, like maybe an evil version.
Yeah.
And her glitch is the original 6. But no one knows.
Why would the original 6 point her towards the maw then?
Exactly. And I don't know if you will remember that, but when 6 ate the gnome, and you guys can probably see in the video on YouTube, but I said, oh, did you see there was something moving in the back? And actually, I didn't see that in the video, but now I know. It was actually the glitch 6 looking at us from the shelf.
Oh.
And apparently, this glitch version of 6 appears each time we eat someone, kind of like a judgment, you know, like, so you are evil now, you're eating people.
Would it be a judgment or more like a... Maybe 6 always follows the glitch no matter what? Like
or you think that the glitch is the evil thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I think, because also the glitch, like, pointed towards, like, the maw, as you said, the brochure. Yeah.
But why would she put it toward there? So that she can go eat people?
Yeah, maybe it's something with a Japanese woman. Yeah. Maybe the glitch wants to... Or maybe it is a good thing because they want to stop like the Japanese woman making all that the gnomes and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of hard. Like.
So one theory, which is really simple, is maybe 6 is just evil and she used Mono. But I also don't believe that because, I mean, come on, 6 went through the mall, you know, we saw that in the first game. She doesn't need anybody.
No.
And also, if she really was using Mono, she could have just used him to get out of the house and then go her own way.
Yeah.
Why did she go all the way there? And because she was helping us too. It's not just us helping her.
She was maybe helping for her own good, because like she wasn't really helping, like because in the
True,
she wasn't coming with us in the hospital.
Know. Do you think that then she would have used us to get to the tower because she knew that the alternate ending, that place where she is, that's exactly where she wanted to be? So she used us.
Yeah, could be, but like it's still weird because she's locked up in the forest.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how she got there as well. And well, another theory is that she is the one who felt betrayed in the first place. Remember when the Thin Man took her and she reached for our hand, but we kind of closed our eyes and we were under the bed.
Oh yeah.
And maybe she saw that as a betrayal, like my friend didn't help. And I also wrote that, the fact that we broke her music box, you could see that it was something she was holding on to so dearly, and yet, you know, we took a hammer and smashed it. She trusted Mono when we called her name because she recognized us. She recognized a friend, you know, and we just used that to get to her.
That's interesting.
We were trying to save her, to take her back to her normal form, but maybe she saw that as a betrayal. Hence the reason why she dropped him. But yeah, it's so...
It's kind of like the same with yesterday with Firewatch. You kind of make your own ending in
exactly.
the end. Like
and it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Yeah. Because then maybe 6 tried to help him, but he became the Thin Man.
But do you think it's the same Thin Man that we see in the end? Or do you think it's a new one? It could also be like that Mono just grew into that like horrible thing because he was in the Watchtower. And maybe that's just what happens. Like,
but then who was the previous Thin Man? It's not like a kid that gets betrayed by 6 every time,
maybe,
right?
Someone else. Like maybe there was like a similar story that someone tried to like put an end to this, went to the Watchtower, and
so it becomes like the new Thin Man every time someone tries to break in the tower and change things. It could be
because it doesn't look anything like Mono, does it? The Thin Man.
Well. A little bit. Yeah, it kind of looks like him. And you could clearly see it's him growing up.
Yeah.
And the previous Thin Man looks exactly the same. Another question is, if Mono is the Thin Man, do you think that 6 is the lady?
Oh, that's a good one.
In the first game...
Because that's what I told you. I remember when we were there fighting the lady, I told you, like, it's kind of like a reflection.
Yeah, exactly.
And with all the mirrors as well.
Yeah. She couldn't look at herself.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the first game, we see the lady, the end boss. Just like at the beginning of the second game, we see the end boss. The main antagonist of the game, which is the Thin Man. And Mono became the Thin Man. So maybe somewhere in the timeline that we didn't see, maybe 6 becomes the lady as well. But it's unknown. It's just a crazy theory that many fans have, but I think, good to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
She's the one making food, turning the children into
And there is a
kids.
music box in the second game with the Japanese lady.
Oh,
the same one.
yeah, that's a good one. There is a music box.
That's on the desk there.
And we know that 6 is, she has that's a good one. I didn't think about that, There are many things like that.
I
like
believe that now, to be honest.
I think that she might be the lady. She might have turned into her somehow. We don't know.
Because there's also like a watchtower at the end of the second game. We get out of that thing and there's like a tower.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something with like a signal tower that's like...
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they're going to show something in the DLC, either how she turned into it, that would be really nice, or how she got there, or what happened when she became
especially what
Monster
happened
6.
Yeah.
I had like a crap ton of questions.
No, that's good.
Okay, what do you think is the Thin Man's purpose in the plot? Because we now know that it was Mono, if that Thin Man was Mono. But then what is he doing there? Is he, like I said, only there because he turned this way because of Six's betrayal? Or did he become that way so that he could take revenge? Like, why do you think he took her? Because he wanted to prevent Mono from being betrayed, his younger self? Or do you think he took Six because she betrayed him, so she wanted revenge and keep her with the music box?
I don't think... Well, it's hard, because like I think I still see Mono and the Tin Man as a different entity, kind of. Because Mono has better intentions than the Tin Man, of course.
Yeah, that's true. But if Six betrayed him, he could have turned evil and wanting revenge, or simply to prevent her from
If Mono wanted
him.
revenge, then why would he help Six escape from the dungeon?
Because he's from the past, so he doesn't know yet. And how did he even come back?
Well, he came out of the TV. That's the first thing you saw.
And we don't know how he got this power. So we don't know how he got to the TV, through the TV, the first scene of the game. And we don't know how he went back to the past. Because if this is Mono and this is a time loop and it's happening over and over again, that the betrayal keeps on happening and the Thin Man keeps on taking Six away.
Like the weirdest thing is because like in the real ending, as they say, like Mono turns into the Thin Man. But how does he turn back in time? Kind of, because
exactly.
The Thin Man and Mono live in the same universe.
Exactly, yeah. And we don't know if the Thin Man got defeated. We don't know if there's 2 Thin Men at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's always really hard when a movie tries to do like a time loop thing.
Time is always weird.
Or go to the future, go to the past, because there's always something that doesn't make sense.
Like only if you know where the first TV is connected to, from what place, then you know more.
Yeah.
And I think that's something they could do in the DLC. Yeah. Like you end by going into the TV and you see the beginning of the game. And I think that would tell so much more.
Because who knows, like maybe one TV actually puts you like a few seconds in the future or a few seconds in the past. So maybe there's a TV that was making you go back all the way, to the past.
Because like we know from the game that only one TV can be connected to another one if they go in.
Yeah.
Like it's not that they come out of like a random TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we know where the first one is connected to, like that would open up for so many more answers. Or like theories more, because like we never get an answer.
So that was another question of mine, like why did he take Six away? Again, like was it to take revenge from her dropping him, or was it because he wanted to help his younger self from being betrayed and turning into that Thin Man?
I think it's more that he wanted to help himself, because I think the moment he turns into a Thin Man, like shit's going down.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he's trying to help himself.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Like either way, both characters led each other into a continuous time loop anyway, and we don't know who started it. Like if it's Six dropping him or him taking her, we don't know. Because either way, the reason why she dropped him, there's a reason behind it, and we don't know what that thing is. It could be so many different reasons, but I don't think it's because she just became evil.
But I'm still thinking, because like they say that the alternate ending is not a real one, right?
Yeah.
But in the alternate ending, they go to the Maw. So what you say actually is that the first game didn't happen, in theory.
Yeah. So that basically, if I think if you hadn't seen the alternate. Geez, I'm having some trouble speaking English today. If you haven't seen the alternate ending, then you could believe that this is just a sequel to the first game.
Yeah.
Because the fact that she points out to the brochure of the mall gives a huge hint that it's a prequel. So if you don't see this, you only see that he became the Thin Man, okay. And if you only see the alternate ending, you never know that Mono became the Thin Man.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand...
Is there an alternate ending to the first game?
There might be if you save all the gnomes, right?
Yeah.
Or if you break all the... What's the ending of the...
Well,
I've never heard of an alternate ending, though, for the first game.
The normal ending is that you walk out and then you come on like an island, right?
Yeah,
with like a signal tower.
Yeah, so if she goes back to the signal tower, why would she go back to the signal tower, or why would she go back to the mall? Like, either way, if it's a prequel or a sequel, she goes back to one of those places. So why? Because she defeated the lady and wants to go back to Mono? Or because she defeated Mono and needs to go back to the mall? Like, I don't know. I really hope that they're gonna give some light about it. It's so frustrating. Another question that we kind of responded is, how did Mono go back in the past? We saw how the Thin Man was created, but it doesn't really explain how the time loop was created, and how he found himself, Mono, and Six in the same timeline as the Thin Man.
Yeah, I'm also just thinking about that loop, because I told you with all the doors on the right. Like, it's almost like there's only one fate for Mono, and that's to go into that door with the X on it to break it and continue.
It could also be that there's multiple universes, you know? Like, kind of like a Futurama thing when you go into a box. Oh, you didn't see this episode. And you have like another alternate universe. So maybe if you go through a door... Because remember, it was the same room, but maybe it's another universe, another, you know, world or timeline. So maybe that's that timeline where the Thin Man doesn't exist, and he becomes the Thin Man for that timeline. Yeah. And the Thin Man is in another timeline where Mono... But still, like, at some point, both of them were together in the same timeline.
That's true.
So then Mono fucked up somehow and found himself walking through a door that brought him to the timeline where the Thin Man was already there.
It's also kind of weird because he defeats himself by doing like the same motion. Like it's reflecting off on himself again. Like that's how we defeated the Thin Man. Like we were like controlling the signal. It's weird.
It's funny because then in the first game, when Six points out the mirror, she's also doing that with... It's just the two of them.
Yeah.
Just the two.
And if they're both on the
reflecting to each other. Yeah. And same with Thin Man and Mono. That's why, you know, many people think that the lady is Six growing up. Next question. What is this all-seeing eye symbol? I told you about it before we started the stream because it's such a big thing. We see this eye everywhere, but we have no idea what it is.
I think it's just more like a metaphorical thing of like... that you're always being judged or being watched. I think it's one of those things.
Yeah, it could be. I also think, well, many people also believe that this eye is the thing that has a control over you and that makes you do things. That's kind of like an evil entity, but that is not physical. Yeah. Just more something that acts on you directly and how you think and do things.
Yeah.
Wait, what did I write?
Because that's the eye in the first game, and when you walk into that, you just get turned to stone.
Yeah.
So,
so it's...
what does that say?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because I also read that apparently that eye and the Thin Man are kind of connected together.
I think it's just like a higher being. Like a god, if you will. Because you also see like the eyes drew like somewhere randomly with like a triangle around it. Or
maybe
with, like, I don't
it's
know.
this that turned the world that we know of Little Nightmares into what it became. Because maybe it was a normal world beforehand and that eye has something to do with it. Like if you go through that eye, you go through like a Narnia kind of door and find yourself into that current Little Nightmares world, like a nightmare version of the world outside.
Because like no one's normal in this game either. Like it's just wrong with everyone.
Exactly.
Like with Mono, it's kind of different because I think like it's not the same as Six. Six is like actually like kind of messed up because she eats like actual humans. Yeah. But if you think about Mono, he didn't really do anything bad, did he?
No. He didn't do anything shady. Yeah. And even at the end, still, when he broke the music box, he did it in order to help Six, because he only had her best interest at heart. It's not like he wanted to smash it because he knew that it would hurt her. Yeah. He thought that it was the only way to turn her back into his friend. Who do you think are those glitchy children that we see all around the game?
I don't think there's a who. I think that's just random, right? Kind of. Because, like, why are there, like, only 8 in the whole game that we can see? Like, it's not in every TV that there's a glitch.
True, but it's also, you know, how you saw Six being a glitch. You only saw her a few times. You didn't see her constantly. She appeared and disappeared. So maybe those children were also abducted by the Thin Man, and they only appeared there. Maybe it's the moment where they died that they stayed there. But they always stay in one place, right? Whereas the shadow of Six, the glitch of Six, she was moving. She was actually doing stuff.
Because the other ones are just staring at the TVs as well. Maybe they're like previous like people that tried to stop the Thin Man, the actual, and they turned into, well, you know, because I don't know. It's a weird.
Then I have another question that just popped in my mind, because you said that the shadow of Six might be evil. Yeah. But then why would she lead Mono towards the monster Six? Is it because she knew that Six would betray him and that she would turn him into the Thin Man? Or is it because she is actually the good Six and wants Mono to help her?
Yeah, that's what we also said with the last thing, that we not 100% sure if she is like evil, because she also wait, what did I say? I said something about it before.
You said that
in the first game.
Yeah, she's leading us towards eating people and doing bad things.
Yeah, so I think she is bad, but yeah.
But on the other hand, because in the first game, again, you only see her. She only appears on the shelf once you are eating. It's not like we follow her and she shows us to eat the gnome or the lady. True.
No, but I mean more like maybe the glitch was already there, and like Six is just subconsciously following that because it's part of her.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, but like also it's another question that I had, because we already kind of answered one of those questions that I had, like what happened to all the people. I think they just disappeared, and I think that's what we see in the signal tower, like that mush of eyes. I think it's just them all somehow
the combined,
something gross that I don't want to think about. Another question that I have is, why is Six hungry in the alternate ending, and how did her general chronic hunger start? Did it start?
I think it started after she turned into that. Oh no, because she didn't turn into that beast in the alternate ending.
Because maybe it happened once she was in the TV, and something happened there that gave her that hunger. Something evil happened to her, and something like that.
Or maybe she has to eat for 2 now because she has a glitch with her.
Yeah.
She also has to feed that glitch.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it happened directly in the second game, but that's why it makes sense that it's a prequel, because she already has that hunger.
But
in
on the
first
other hand,
game.
Maybe she has it here as well. But like we're not constantly with her. Like there are parts that she isn't there because maybe she's eating then. Maybe
that's true. And then to me that would kind of almost make sense that she dropped him because she was hungry and didn't want to eat him. And then the moment she left, that's what you hear, like, I was hungry, but I dropped him because I knew that otherwise I would eat him.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Six itself is evil.
It's another of my question that I wrote, like, is Six evil?
I don't think so.
And I wrote, I believe that Six definitely has a dark side.
Yeah.
Which she tried to push away and conceal until it gets too hard to hold on to, like in the first game when she kind of gives up onto finding regular food and she just eats a gnome or eats the lady to survive.
But you told me as well, like maybe Six already knew that there was like kids worked into the sausage.
Yeah.
So she rather eat like
gnome
a gnome
than eat the sausage.
Than a kid.
Yeah. And you can see that the things that she eats are gradually bigger. It starts with a potato or a bread that someone throws through the bars, then the steak, then the rat, then the gnome, and finally the lady. So it's kind of, getting bigger and bigger and bigger until she actually eats
getting
someone.
More inhumane, yeah.
And so you might think maybe it's because she knows that if she just eats bread or rat, it's not enough for her because her hunger is so bad that she needs to actually eat something.
But on the
alive.
other hand, like it's also weird because she only takes 1 bite, so she isn't that hungry. Like if you're that hungry, you don't eat one, but you eat the whole thing or you eat nothing.
Exactly. You can clearly see, even if you believe that Six is genuinely good. You can still see she has a dark side. Like that moment that we were in the hospital and she was popping out the fingers of a mannequin. While we were away, and then she just turned around to us like in a creepy way.
And also when you incinerated that big guy, she was there sitting.
She was just warming up, like, hey, just don't mind me. And
she probably wanted to bite actually of that guy when he was done.
And again, when we were in the school and we had that option to kill the porcelain.
She was going
hammer,
at it.
She just jumped on the thing and kind of strangled him. And like I told you about before beginning the stream, there's also the theory that Six was actually studying in this school before, because she has the same aggressivity of all the other kids, and she jumped on that kid the same way that we saw other kids jump on each other. So it is believed that before being that school, it used to be a regular school, and Six was there, and her cruel, dark side kind of started there. But there's no evidence, or there are some little hints and clues here and there, but of course nothing is sure. With all these theories, they're just theories. Nothing was confirmed by the developers. It's just some crazy
conspiracy.
What else? Another question: what happens in the TV that we don't know? We don't know if you go back in the past. You don't know if you get messed up with the signals. Maybe, like all the people who were watching the TVs, they lost their eyes and everything, they got messed up. Maybe that's what happened to Six. That's the only reason to explain why she became that monster.
But she's the only monster that we saw. Well, that's not true, but like she's the only deformed. Like the other ones just have no face, and that's it. Like they're normal humans, but without their facial features. But Six actually like grew, like her legs and even her coat grew. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and her hair was just straight. Do you think that Mono was always the Thin Man, or do you think that his fate could have been avoided?
No, that's what I told you. I don't think it's possible to be avoided, because all the doors you had were all the same doors. So it was only one way for you to go. They were the same door,
but it seems like it happens in whatever universe or whatever door you go through. It's a time loop, so it feels like it's always going to happen.
And also, if you pick the wrong door in that watchtower, you just get
go
plopped back.
It's like, we want you.
There's no other way for you. You just have to go
fate.
there.
And I feel watching this that there could be a third game, but then that would be a game that explains more about Six herself, maybe how she got there. But then again, they make DLCs that are 1 hour.
What I would like them to do is like make a DLC for this game and then kind of drop Little Nightmares, but make games in this universe, because then it would still be expanded on, but not especially, like, it doesn't have to be this setting,
But I think there's so much story to that. When you play the first Little Nightmares, you don't really think much of it. You think, it's that little girl, she goes through each area. And when you play the second game, you can really tell the story is actually really deep. It goes so much deeper than that, especially with Six's characters, her personality, what she does, why she does these things. It's actually really, it's kind of heartbreaking as well in a way, especially for Mono, who all he wanted to do was helping her out. And then he has to follow a cruel fate.
Really a fate, that's all.
But then, I wrote that if you guys have some questions or theories that maybe we didn't talk about, or some things you might want to know, then we
and also things you disagree with that we say, like, please let us know.
Of course, like, because I kind of wrote all the theories, and I also mentioned the ones that I didn't believe in, like Six genuinely being evil and wanting to drop him because she didn't need Mono anymore. I don't believe in that.
No, and especially if you, like, she was holding on, like she was really thinking, like,
she hesitated.
What's the best thing to do? Like, and if not, then she would have just like went to the right without even looking at Mono.
I think that it says a big thing as well about her. That hesitation moment shows that deep inside she's good. Because it's not like, here, bitch, just leave.
Fall down.
She just held on to him, and that's why you can tell. Did she look at his face and realize that he was the Thin Man, so that's why she dropped him? Or was
but she didn't really seem scared when she did it. Like, she didn't like get, oh shit, it's him, and then dropped him. She was just like thinking, like, what's the best thing to do? That's what I think she was thinking at the moment.
I think so as well. Like, I feel like she had some regret as well, looking at him and thinking, and But she decided to go with the consequences anyway. Whatever she did, she could have pulled him back and then deal with her hunger, or well, just talk about it, in an adult
well, they're kids
way.
Yeah.
And then say, why did you betray me?
Because maybe also don't forget that they're just kids, like they think differently than adults.
Yeah. And for kids, betrayals are actually really, really like they're much more important and heartbreaking than for us adults, because we know how to deal with those things, even though we can still get heartbroken, of course. But for kids, if you betray them, then they will feel like everyone is
they will change as well, like personality.
Yeah, they will trust the personality, and everything happens. Like your whole personality kind of develops when you're a kid. So if something happened, if you had a trauma when you were a kid, then it's likely that it's going to stay, or at least change you throughout your life. I'm doing a little bit of psychology there, but
so I just hope for a DLC, and that they will, like, for me, like the thing I want to, like, I don't want an answer. I want more like to speculate myself. So what I want to see right now is like a DLC where they show where Mono came from. And from there on you can rule like a lot of theories out. And you can think about it like, well, then you can kind of make sense of the story, like is Mono the Tin Man? Is it always the same Tin Man? Is it the same timeline? Is it this? You can grab a lot of things from just that one detail.
I think that what kind of the one question that I want to have the most answers for is why she dropped him.
I'm thinking about it now, by the way.
I'm thinking what happened in that TV with her that made her, it probably led her to that decision of dropping him, I believe.
Yeah. What I was just thinking, maybe, because like it's a pretty big scene actually. Like normally Mono has a paper bag over his head.
Yeah.
But he loses that when he faces the Tin Man.
Yeah.
Afterwards, his paper bag is gone, and then he faces Six. Six sees his face, and maybe then she dropped him actually, because he did see that it was the Tin Man. Because like they really show it that she loses her. Well, in our case it was a hat, but normally it's a paper bag, so you wouldn't be able to see his face.
Yeah.
And maybe Six never saw his face before they were hanging, and she saw Mono's actual face and was like...
Yeah, but I mean, when he broke her music box, she turned around, like at
Well, but then they got chased already, so she didn't have time to think about anything.
Yeah, that's true. It's possible that he finally saw...
Like there has to be a sense to the paper bag, right? She's... Yeah. Like no one can see his face actually.
Might be also, and like I think I told you about it on the phone when we were on Discord a few days ago, that when you read the description from the Bandai official site...
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
I didn't?
No.
Oh, when you go on the Bandai site and they give a description, you kind of read it through just like that, so that you can have an idea of what the characters are like. But when you go back to reading the description, once you finish the game, then you actually can tell that they hid some things in the description that makes a lot of sense. Like, well, you can Google it if you want, like the official site. But I remember seeing that for Mono, they said something about the paper bag, that it gives him some kind of peace from...
Yeah, not knowing who he is. So that would make sense.
So it might be maybe because he did something also that he feels so ashamed of.
Yeah, maybe he made this whole... Because like he is basically the Tin Man, so that's why he does that. That's what I think.
Maybe he feels so ashamed that he doesn't want to be judged by people, so he puts a paper bag on his face.
Oh, wait, also the viewers.
Go to Six as well. There is something about Six for this. Awakening in a world she cannot recognize. So that already means that she's in a world that maybe wasn't the same way when she...
And she also has the music box here.
Six must learn to trust someone else if she is to stand a chance of survival. She has already seen more than any normal child ever should, but then Six is not a normal child. So what does it mean she's not a normal child? Does it mean that she's already...
No, there's also
she already has some powers?
Something wrong with her.
Another thing, by the way, about the powers that she acquires at the end of the first game, she doesn't seem to have them in the second, which also points out that it's a prequel and not a sequel.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that her hunger really happened when she was stuck in the TV or when she went through the TV. But
yeah.
And Mono, they say his thin paper mask allows some...
Thin.
His thin
man.
Thin paper mask offers some
respite,
helping him forget that the world outside hates him and wants him to fail. but he can't stay hidden forever.
Yeah, so it must be like what I just said.
They say, like that the world outside hates him, so they know already who he is. So he keeps that.
So that's why I say, like, once Six actually see his face, then he's like.
But doesn't it mean that this Mono knows who he really is?
Yeah.
The little Mono already knows.
Yeah.
So that Mono is the one who came from the time loop himself and knows who.
I think he's still trying to escape the loop.
Yeah. But then why helping Six? He should just ditch her. Because she's the one who turned him that way.
Well, maybe he tried that already. Because he went through that time loop multiple times.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the way to do it. But, like, this is maybe the time we played is the furthest he ever came to, like, escaping. But Six was in the way. Because he knows already to put a paper back. Maybe the first time he didn't have one and got killed immediately because they know he was the Tin Man.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, he learned probably from all the time he traveled around.
Tin Man continues his endless journey through this desolate place, haunting the shadows, searching for something.
Yeah. He's searching for himself.
Continues his endless journey.
Yeah, endless journey. So
it's a
time loop. Everything points out to that. So.
Yeah, let's just keep it on that then. And I think we just need more answers before we can theorize more about it.
So yeah, hopefully we can wait for a DLC so that we can have more answers. And in the meantime, we will just be keeping those theories and reading what you guys have to say about it. Other than that, thanks everyone for tuning in the stream and for watching the video if you guys are watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, please let us know what you think about it because we're interested.